This conference will now be recorded.
All right, so we're in the middle of the week. Today is Wednesday, February 6th. As always, everything we're going to be talking about today is for educational purposes only, and nothing is intended as any type of investment advice. So probably one of the, well, I wouldn't say better, but definitely, got some new stuff that's going on out there. So we got some new stories to go to for this morning. First thing I'm going to be looking at is EA. Obviously he had earnings and took a really big hit. Now I'm a big fan of EA as a company, and I mean I haven't looked at it in a while, but I remember when this thing went from 50 all the way up to pretty much 150. But it's been in a pretty steady decline. It started pulling up a little bit, and then we could see this huge gap that we've had. Now, one of the things looking at this morning is that we could see a lot of buy prints that have been coming back in. And as we've been kind of motoring back up, I haven't seen as much selling. You got a little bit that came in at that 78 level that's been kind of pushing it back up. But we can see as it's coming up that way, we have some beautiful ass prints that came in at 78.50, and you have a little bit that's coming around that 79 level. So 78, 75, 55,000 share print line that we're going to be looking at. But as of right this second, I mean, it's really kind of pulling up, and like I said, we're starting on that kind of that uptrend to see a lot more buying coming in. So the 78.50, we didn't really pull back as much as I would have liked to see. One thing that we do know, it moves at an average of $2.88. So we know today that more than likely we're going to see a lot bigger of a range. So definitely excited about looking into that. And like I said, we have our buying prints coming, and we definitely want to see a little bit more at 79 though to continue this going up. One print is just not going to do it, and then also having a sell. So you have a mix, an ask and a sell print. Neither of those are going to be our show of hands. So need to see a little bit more at that 79, and then obviously more buying coming in, pushing it to 80, where a psychological number would not be a hard thing for this thing to do at all. I'm expecting somewhere in the vicinity of about $4 within its range. Next one we have is ATVI. So took another one that took a pretty big hit, closed at about 48, 47.84, and we went all the way down to 44.50. Now, the one thing that I'm looking for here is you can see at the 46, a little bit of selling, and 40 above that 45. You have one bid print, and then above there. Got a pretty ballsy position. Okay, if you're looking at the orders are extremely thin. So I definitely like the selling that I'm seeing there, showing us, to be able to not only continue, but after pulling up a little bit above that 45 level, being able to get back to that double bottom at 44.50. So I like what I see going on there. My biggest concern though with this one is just it not really trading much, because you can see it's a little bit sporadic, more sporadic than I would like for the pre-market, and not as much volume per minute as I would like to see coming back in. But it is a $45 stock, so we should be okay with it. Just make sure that once the market opens that we actually see that volume start coming into it. MGNX, next one. So apparently they had some type of good drug results, which I really could care less the reason of why it's up. But coming in and looking, we can see we are getting some nice buying coming in above that 25 level, 24.60, a little bit of buying at 25, a little bit of buying over 25. Biggest thing right now, we have the buying to continue back up. We just need to make sure we get that new buying coming in around that 26 level to show us that we're going to be able to continue. The logical spot for this would be first the double top, and as long as we have volume here at that 29 level, pushing back up towards that 30. Just need to see that continued buying still coming in. And then next one is GM. Now, GM's on the bottom of my list, and the biggest reason is because it's just not a big mover at all. It usually moves about $1.06. Now, based off 600, almost 700,000 shares being traded this morning already, we're going to be expecting more than $1, but how much more? $1.50, somewhere in that area. So it is on the bottom of my list for that exact reason. It's just not really a big trader. Now, we can see we're coming in a little bit of a staircase right here, coming back down after we got our buying coming towards that 41 level. But not as much as we would have liked to see. I mean, we definitely had some buying underneath 40. That came back in 39.30. That was yesterday at 4 o'clock. So there's not as much as I would like to see at all. And we're getting a lot of big selling bursts. You can see 40.70 right here, around 40.60, 40.62, and 40.59. So not, like I said, just not as much as we would like to see at all, especially when we came up to that 41 level. You could see that really wasn't much. And we did get some below the bid prints and even, the sell prints that followed in afterwards. So as of right now, I'm not convinced at all looking for this thing to be able to continue, because it just doesn't have the buying there yet. Yes, MGNX is up a substantial amount, 139%, and it's like I said, as long as we keep getting this new buying coming in, it's going to keep going. So keep that in mind. And that's all I really got this morning. Let's take a look at our scanners. Let's see if we have anything else new out there. I'm kind of excited. EA is going to be the number one. Well, actually, EA and MGNX is looking really good, and it's definitely going to have a lot more of a range than 90. But I'm looking forward to the ranges that we have in both of these. So let's take a look at the scanner, see if anything new is out there. No, not really. Snap is up. I know that, but this is almost never a day trade at all. So I personally don't. I'm not going to end up trading Snap. There's just better things out there to look at. SPOT and TTWO. So SPOT. Yeah, I mean, we definitely have those prints at 134 that came back in over here. So we have selling, which, we definitely would expect to come back in, but it's looking like we're seeing a lot of covering at that 130 level, and that's pretty much what we've been moving towards that upside for. So overall, it's not bad at all. Definitely have that new selling coming towards the downside, though. Sounded like we need new buying in all we've talked about so far to continue moves. Well, you got to remember the buying that came in is being satisfied right now. Okay, so if it's pushing up and it's pushing up from prints $1.50 ago, we can't really go on that because that $1.50 it's made its money. So what we need to see is that new buying coming in to show us that the stock is going to be able to continue from where it actually is at that moment, especially they're not chasing a stock and get that, for instance, a new buy coming in. So we can get a little bit of a pullback to actually give us an entry to be able to trade it. Yeah, so spot's it's not bad at all. And TTWO. TTWO, yeah, it's basically the trading almost exactly the same. Spot definitely has some better prints coming into it, but you can see right here at that 98 level, you had some pretty good selling, followed by that ask, which is pretty much why it's kicking off towards that downside already. And then some new selling coming in as we were pushing back down. So yeah, we'll definitely put those two on, spot and TTWO. TTWO. All right, let's take a look. Let's see. Can you go over Roku? Any new buying in Roku prints were satisfied around 49 to 49.50. Now, absolutely nothing going on in Roku right now, only 46,000 shares. EOLS, let's take a look. So EOLS looks like I wasn't watching this yesterday, but it looks like it made a nice move towards that upside. Remember, our price target was 20. It ended up hitting like 20.23 or somewhere in that area, and obviously not getting to 20 wasn't able to show us any real extension. Now, it does have some great selling that was sitting there at 20.50 that really hasn't been satisfied yet, but I didn't really see. You can see yesterday kind of moved up on pretty low volume overall, but just nothing going on this morning for us to really make any type of decisions on. And then CRON this morning, as we can see, it's taking a hit. I know most people weren't able to get shares this morning, which is kind of unfortunate. One thing that, Cron, as of right this second, it's definitely showing some new selling coming in towards this downside. But one thing me personally would keep an eye on before Cron, and you can short it as well, is CGC, because CGC has a ton of bid prints at 47 that still have not been satisfied from last week at some point, or it was like early last week. So overall, Cron at that 20 is going to be a hard thing for it to break. And we look at CGC. CGC just isn't a better position, especially having that much selling at that 47. So I'd take a look at that side. And then obviously Cron 2050 is going to be the most important part for us to look at. New selling coming in, we should be able to get there. And then those prints, right, will give us the indication of what we're going to be looking for it to do. All right, nice buying MGNX at 27. Let's see. Beautiful. Started with selling though, and then buying. So it's definitely giving us a mix. But we know we're going to get selling. We know we're going to be profit taking. So that new buying coming in, definitely looking for that pullback before we would expect it to come back up, like I said earlier, to that double top. All right, guys. So we definitely have some stuff to look at this morning. A lot more movement than we're used to this early in the morning. So let's make sure we're focusing. Remember, the beginning of the morning, the setup for what you're looking for when the 9:30 comes is the most important part of your day. That first trade is the most important trade because we want to make sure that we're starting off in the black. Starting off in the black psychologically is going to make our day just way, way easier. All right, guys. So I will talk to everyone in the chat, and happy trading.